So let's talk about the implications of having an imbalanced microbiome. If we perhaps focus on the gut, but we can draw in other microbiomes as you like. What are the big things that we need to be thinking about here as potential consequences?
So the biggest consequences of imbalanced gut microbiomes that we know so far are things like a kind of damage to the gut barrier. So that's the mucosal barrier and also the cellular barrier of the gut.
Just explain that a little bit for our
Sure.
listeners, if you could.
So, we've got all these microbes that live within us and we do interact with them on a day-to-day basis. But there's only so much bacterial matter that we want in the wider system. So it means we do have to have a very, very good barrier. So on the outside, it's our skin is an important barrier that stops things coming through. Inside our gut, we have a cellular barrier which stops things moving through, like microbes or hopefully chemicals. And on top of that, there's a thick layer of mucus where our own cells make kind of little special peptides or proteins and other things that will stop kind of anything that wants to invade from getting through. So the health of our gut barrier and our mucosal barrier is very, very much linked with our health in general, systemically, because that's your first point of your immune system stopping anything coming in, whether that's microbial, chemical, a food stuff, whatever that might be. So with an imbalanced microbiota, we can really start to damage the gut barrier and the mucosal barrier quite quickly because it may not be getting the metabolites it needs to stay healthy, or you might be making metabolites that are not healthy for it. And they're going to go into your wider system. And when they do, your body starts to set up an inflammatory response, kind of going, hang on, all of this bacterial matter or all of this metabolite is not supposed to be here. And with that inflammatory response, it can become it's not necessarily a high inflammatory response. It can be in cases of things like sepsis, but it's generally in chronic diseases, it's a low grade inflammatory response. And that means that all of your cells are on standby all the time. You're starting to make these kind of inflammatory chemicals in your body, which can then start to disrupt some of our normal day-to-day processes. And if you do that for many, many years, that can lead to things really clearly like type 2 diabetes. It can lead to obesity. It can lead to autoimmune conditions, liver conditions like non-alcoholic liver disease, depression. We know when there's kind of too many of these inflammatory molecules in your body that depression and anxiety can also be one of the causes as well.